Well, howdy diddly dandy there, chums. 'Tis I, Captain of the Steves, and today, chums, for you guys out there in the viewer world, I want to talk a little bit about No Man's Sky. This year is their 9th anniversary of the game's launch, and I'm hoping that Hello Games do something quite large when it comes to an update. Now, I have put what I would like to see come in to the actual verse, all of my hopes for this year's updates to come. But then I've also put down what I feel is more likely to happen, based on some of the things that I've noticed inside of the actual patch notes and things like that. So let's get into this, chums, because I'm also going to be reading out people's comments, or at least hovering over them for a while to let you guys read them. So anyway, starting off with my hopes, I'm hoping that they fully implement the Ariadne storyline into the main game. Now, if none of you know what I'm on about, or if some of you do and some of you don't, just as a quick refresh, Ariadne that we have standing inside the spatial anomaly right now, the one that looks like Hello Kitty just went through a freaking blender, well, during the summer game law of about, I think, 2020 maybe? 2021? Something like that. It was ages ago anyway. It was before all the COVID malarkey. She disappeared into a black hole sort of area of space in between the void and went on a dark freighter. Who we have standing now inside of the actual spatial anomaly is an imposter. It was a really cool little story arc. I'm hoping Hello Games implemented a little bit like the Artemis quest line and actually implemented as an in-game thing, because you get to talk to all of the NPCs and they actually grow a little bit of personality to each of them. And I feel that without that, a lot of players have missed out on such a cool arc inside of the game. I would like to see them implement that as story and lore for everybody to enjoy. Next off is raids into the realm of glass. Now, it seems to be that everything as of late has been building towards the Void Mother and mentions of the realm of glass and the void. We've even built ourselves an AutoFage type construct that I call Man Spider that stands up next to Tethys on the middle mezzanine, or upper mezzanine. But they've also implemented a teleporter to get you up there quicker. Almost like this Man Spider AutoFage thing has got a big part of the story arc, because why else do you need to get up there so freaking quick? I kind of feel that he's got to have some kind of functionality at some point, in my opinion. Raids into the realm of glass, to me, just makes sense, especially now we've got the purple systems there and all that sort of shenanigans. The Atlas Eternal Path as a completed quest. If you hit up the Atlas Eternal Path right now, chums, inside of the verse, it's a little bit odd. I mean, all you seem to get right now, people, is you take a load of your discoveries, your wonders catalogue to the Atlas and display them to the Atlas. Now, you can choose to side with the Atlas or the Atlantid. It doesn't really make overly any sort of difference to this. But this story arc doesn't go anywhere. It just repeats over and over again. And people will say, well, that's the whole eternal bit, Steve. Well, it's eternally boring, is what I would say to those people. I would like to see some sort of award attributed to it. So if you are going there over and over and over again and presenting all these wonders, if you hit certain thresholds for like finding the hottest planet, maybe you might get given a flamethrower module for your multi-tool. I mean, let's face it, some of us have got the incinerator module, but it'd be nice to get awarded it, wouldn't it? As well as other things from the Atlas Eternal Path. Autophage stations, guilds, freighters and fleet. The autophage are starting to play a bigger part inside of No Man's Sky. I mean, we just got given autophage settlements. So I would say the next step is maybe to add in all that autophagey stuff that I just mentioned. It would be quite cool to have autophage themed freighters and fleets, wouldn't it, really? Maybe even new autophage types of ship. I mean, we've got Sentinel ships, haven't we? And the funny thing is, we got given Sentinel multi-tools, get this, at the autophage camps. Well, I'm thinking those autophage multi-tools might get lifted and shifted. Well, the Sentinel multi-tools might get lifted and shifted and put into the Sentinel pillars, along with the exotic ones that we find there now, currently. I think the autophages might get their own type of multi-tool. Well, they've already got staffs, but I'm wondering whether they might get their own multi-tools as well. That's just a feeling I've got inside my head. Mainly because now, when you go to autophage camps and you go to get one of those Sentinel multi-tools, a lot of the time they've been replaced with normal multi-tools. So they are playing about with the multi-tools AutoFage camps. Whether that's a bug, whether that's a feature, or something they're working on, I think the future will tell. Anyway, station override use. Now, myself and other content creators out there have been speculating for the last 5 years or something on these station overrides. I'm probably over-exaggerating slightly there, but oh my god, they've been teasing this for a long time. You go there now with a station override, you can get them inside of pirate systems by doing missions. You take that station override there right now and it just says it's a counterfeit, and then it comes up glass, 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 which takes us back to the whole realm of glass type thing. Could it be that we've got to get the station overrides, take them to a station core, override it to then run some kind of realm glass run into the void via Manspider? I don't know. That'd be a little bit crazy. Other people are wondering whether the station overrides would give us the opportunity to own our own station. To what end, I don't really know. Anyway, Singularity Engine use. So if you go to your freighter bridge commander right now and speak to your freighter bridge commander, they will mention Singularity Engine and engaging of Singularity Engine. If you did the Polestar expedition, you actually got rewarded a Singularity Engine. What it does when it fires up is it actually opens up a black hole and just takes you to a random area of space in your freighter, which is kind of cool. So I'm hoping that they bring that back in. Just swapping back to the station override use, and I said to what end, I don't know. Well, if I could have station ownership, what I would like to do is to be able to register a hub zone and then make it a hub zone for any people that want to come and play alongside me and all that sort of stuff. Set up my own like mini guild inside of game. A Captain Steve guild linked to a station ownership and system ownership. And it could also re-register to the Galactic Atlas in-game to save Hello Games having to update the Galactic Atlas, which they don't anymore anyway. Void Mother, ARG Part 4, story completed. So this one's a little bit weird, because a lot of people reckon that we have actually had Part 4, and it was just, you know, the purple star systems being added in Worlds Part 2. But I think if that was the case, Sean of the Murrays would have listed that it was ARG Part 4. In a lot of his patch notes before, he's said about it being ARG Part 2 or more, the start of an ARG arc inside a game, inside of the mini emoji patch list entries. He hasn't done that, so I don't think the Void Mother has been fully realised into gamers yet. She's still being built, and even the Ecophages are still saying that she's on her way. So I think we're still on par for that to happen. I don't think it's going to happen for the August sort of anniversary update, though. I kind of feel they might hold that back and release it around October time for Halloween. And that will probably be the final update of the year, and then we'd enter into the Reduxes over the winter period, is what I'm thinking. My hopes list is for the hopes for the rest of the year. It's not just for the anniversary update. Some of this I feel might be anniversary update, then some may spill over into a Halloween update. The Void Mother I think would be perfect for that, and maybe even the Ariadne storyline being added in would be nice to be coupled in with that. And maybe they can make a few tweaks to the Ariadne storyline to cross into the Void Mother arc. Is what I'm thinking. I'm wondering whether Ariadne might be the Void Mother in disguise, is where I'm going with this, people, but there we are. If not, maybe null. Custom rare ship parts for customization. Now, we had the Iron Vulture ship. If you scrap the Iron Vulture and you keep its wings, if you then apply those wings to any other hauler, the hauler that you apply those wings to gets a hover in place perk. I would like that to be an actual canon thing for all different ship parts. So you might come across, when you scrap a ship, an engine that doesn't break when you go for a black hole, or if you go to a centre of a galaxy, it's an indestructible engine. And then you might also find wings or a cockpit that's all indestructible. And you can build an indestructible ship for jumping galaxies or jumping through black holes. I think that'd be quite cool. But there could be all sorts of other ship parts with perks. Like there might be an engine that gives you an extra 10% on your mobility for manoeuvrability. And I think if they implemented ships with perked parts inside of the actual universe, Ship hunters could then go looking for ships, scrap the ships to see what perks they have on the parts, and share the coordinates on the coordinate exchange for perked part ships. And that would reignite all the ship hunters and also all their videos and shares on all these different portal coordinate exchanges. I think Hello Games could bring back ship hunting if they were intelligent about it and put in perked parts for ships. Quite hard to say that. It's a bit of a tongue twister. Anyway, fixed multiplayer and Nexus mission overhaul. At the moment, multiplayer is a little bit janky, to say the least. It's kind of held together by sticky tape and a prayer, and I kind of hope that Hello Games will sit down and focus a lot on multiplayer, considering that Light No Fire is going to be very multiplayer centralist. You know, they're hoping to build the game around multiplayer. Granted, they brought in multiplayer after No Man's Sky's release, and they brought it out in the Next and Beyond update and perfected it as time went on. But because they sort of outsource their multiplayer to the Azure type platform rather than have it fully in-house, I feel that multiplayer was pretty darn stable during Next and Beyond, and it slowly got a little bit more degraded and flaky as time has gone on as well. So I would like to see multiplayer fixed. I don't know how they're going to go about doing that because they rely so much on Azure. Nexus missions overhaul. It's very rare that me and my team on a Friday, when we do the weekend mission run, hold an instance together. All four of us complete the mission and all get the reward. Usually one of us ends up not getting the reward for whatever reason. But not only that, is the missions aren't staggered. So if there are four of you going to hunt monstrosities and they give you 32 monstrosities to kill, between four of you, that's not a lot of killing. That's not a lot of action. It's a little bit lackluster. Also, some missions where it says, please turn in a load of activated idiom or something like that. If you've got the activated idiom in your freighter or screwed away in one of your inventory slots, it instantly completes the mission. Well, it shouldn't. It shouldn't do that. Some weekend missions are over before they've even really started when we do them on a Friday, and then we end up twiddling our thumbs looking for another mission, pick up a mission, and sometimes that instantly completes. We end up completing like 3 missions in the space of 30 minutes when there's 4 of us. They need to make the missions more challenging, and it would be nice if you do have 4 people in a group. Say if it gave you the mission to go attack a Sentinel Dreadnought ship or a giant pirate Dreadnought freighter. It could give each player a different objective. Okay, you take out the missiles that the Sentinel Dreadnought's firing, you take out all of its cannons, you take out its fighters, and you take out its engines. And then after you've done that, it could give you another mission objective until the whole thing's destroyed. I think Hello Games could mix it up a little bit, make it more multiplayer centric, give us a bit of a taste of what the multiplayer missions might be like inside of Light No Fire, inside of No Man's Sky. That's what I hope they do. They're my hopes. That's my hopes list completed. I've now moved on to what I think is more likely to happen. I'm thinking they might deliver in for the anniversary update a Worlds Part 3 in a roundabout way. There's a couple of biomes that haven't had a lot of love, and they don't have a lot of variety. Those being the lava biome and the swamp biomes. They don't have their own bespoke plants. They don't have their rhyme or reasons to even go there, really. And when you do go there, they look very copy and pasted compared to all the other biomes. I feel the lava worlds and the swamp worlds need a bit of love. I also feel that caves look a bit the same from planet to planet. If you go to a frost planet and you go into a frost cave, I would like to see it with icicles and frost inside of the cave. Right? If you go to a desert one, I'd like to see it have little cactuses inside of there and be a little bit more deserty like, you know? I'd also like to see a lot more cave fauna added, like maybe some glowing slugs and snails or little mole creatures that feel believable to underground. And it'd be nice if sometimes you go into a cave and you come face to face with a giant freaking worm that's taking refuge inside of there, and it might munch you. I mean, that'd be pretty darn cool, wouldn't it? I also think something that's more likely is underwater fossils. Why? Because when we saw the Relics trailer, it showed underwater fossils. And sometimes you can go to an oceanic planet that says it has fossils. You go there, you dive into the water, no fossils to be found. If it was in the trailer, hopefully it's going to come into the game at some point. So I think that could be on the cards. New AutoFage Multitools, whoopsie, I already touched on that above. If you go to AutoFage camps right now, a lot of the multi-tools that you find in the AutoFage camps, rather than them being Sentinel multi-tools, they're now normal multi-tools. I think Hello Games might be lifting and shifting those Sentinel multi-tools to the Sentinel pillars and then implementing new AutoFage multi-tools at the AutoFage camps. That kind of makes sense. I don't think it's a full bug. I think it's something they're working on. Sound off in the comments. Overhaul to AutoFage camps and Sentinel pillars. Well, we just touched on that from the one above. I think there's going to be a bit of a lift and shift, people. What they do with the exotic multi-tools currently inside the Sentinel pillars is anyone's guess. I'm hoping they introduce something new around this exotic tech. We've got exotic ships, we've got exotic multi-tools, we've got exotic sort of armors, but we don't know where this exotic stuff came from. I'm hoping that it's the Gek first spawn or something that we haven't seen yet. And I'm hoping Hello Games bring that into the game in a future update. I think that'll be a long down the path though. Abandoned system rebirthing. Currently, when you fly into an abandoned system station, it actually says something rather curious on the screen. It says welcome home. I'm wondering whether abandoned systems, you know, when we've done the Utopia expedition and we became part of the Utopia Corp, we had to go around all the different planets in the Utopia Corp and inside of an abandoned system and scan and survey every single planet and build up a roster on that planet. And then after we completed the Utopia expedition, if you went back to that abandoned system outside of the expedition, it was no longer abandoned. It was actually a flourishing, lovely, iconic, booming system. And that's probably thanks to the efforts that you did as part of the Utopia Corp. I'm wondering whether that might become a game mechanic. So you can go to an abandoned system, survey all the different planets, and then once you've done surveying it, offer it up for sale. Now, if you've scanned a load of minerals, like rocks, maybe the Gek might be more interested in it. If you've surveyed all the flora, maybe the Korvax might be more interested in it. If you've scanned all of the fauna, maybe the Viking might be more interested in it. And if you've found a lot of different waypoints and camps and things like that, even though they're abandoned, maybe the AutoFage might be interested in it. And they'd offer up monies. They purchase it after you've sold it to the relevant sort of faction. The space station bursts into life with that faction in there. So if you've sold it to the Viking, it becomes a Viking system with a Viking station. So you actually lend a hand to building back the economy inside of the systems. I think that could work quite nicely. More lore to relic planets and golems. We've got these giant stone golems appearing now and these relic planets appearing now. It'd be nice if we got some sort of relic tech. I mean, we've already got like a whole armor set, but it'd be nice if there was some multi-tools, relic type modules. The weaponry modules from the past, maybe even the incinerator. You know, that sort of stuff to be found there. And maybe they could tie a little bit more lore into these relic planets, maybe tie it into the first spawn, or maybe even tie it into what I mentioned earlier, the exotic stuff. You know, maybe that was from a previous carnate where things were a lot more sort of regal. I think that could work quite nice if they tied the relic systems to the exotic ships and things that we have currently. Just an idea, like Atlantis, tech from the past that's futuristic. There it goes. I do think that if we are to get some sort of anniversary update, it may come coupled with an expedition. And I kind of feel, based on all the updates that we've had around relics and the skeletons, and even the settlements that we've just been given, I'm wondering whether we might get some sort of expedition that touches on all of those elements inside of the anniversary update. So that's kind of where I'm thinking and leaning with all of my hopes and what I feel is more likely to happen this year, people in the viewerverse. So now I'm going to be scrolling down to the comments, but before I do that, I'm just going to hit stop because I've done all this in one take, not scripted. I'm going to go and get myself my iced tea and I'll be right back with you.
Captain Steve, oh Captain Steve, oh Captain. Heck yeah, why not hit that like and subscribe? Thank you very much.
Right, chums, so here we go. This is probably people's favourite parts, is where I go through the comments of those in the viewerverse. Got myself some iced tea rather than a cup of tea. It's tea, but it's cold. Clues in the name. Right, do you like iced tea? Right. Would love to see Hello Games revisit Exocrafts. Now, there's a couple of other people that are mentioned in here. It'd be nice to see NPCs driving around Exocrafts. So I think that's a lovely idea. I don't know about any new content until they fix all the issues. This is something that I've also seen said a few times inside of here. And I have to agree. Totally on that. They need to add in a lot more polish. I mean, I did mention about fixing the multiplayer, redoing the overhaul of the missions. I think they need to go back and revisit every pillar of the game and look at fixing and polishing. A little bit like they did with the Synthesis and Prisms updates of past. I feel that we definitely need an update like that. In fact, that would have been more welcome than the Settlements update. But I do feel that the Settlements update and the Beacons update was more for the Switch players, you know, and the way that they probably stagger gameplay. And you can read more there as well. Pretty darn nice. A lot of ideas there. There's a little bit of focus on underwater building. Yeah. Base part diagrams for underwater. Yeah, why not? Why not? It could be cool. There's a few nice ideas there, but from Seth Gaming and stuff. We got Xander396. I want to establish my own space station and economy. I mentioned space station ownership earlier, and that could be tied to that station override, couldn't it? Overhauls to multiplayer? Yeah, he's echoing quite a lot of the things that I've touched on. Nice one, Xander. NPC ground combat as well. It would be nice to have that happen at least in the pirate systems. I agree with that, 100%. That would be quite cool to do battle with NPCs on ground. Because I would like to hope that they've got NPCs we can battle with inside of, like, No Fire. Unless we are just going to be battling giant crabs and fauna. Anyway, your gal saying, she's got a YouTube channel, people. Check her out. She does No Man's Sky. She's a good content creator. Yeah, I like her. Right, anyway. I've seen so many great suggestions from adding more aqua-related mechanics to having living freighters. Yeah, there are a lot of great ideas there. A little bit to do with VR as well, a little bit of an uplift there. And might add requests to Exocrafts as well. Yes, all of this is great. All of this is awesome stuff. Piloting the Normandy. Ooh. The Normandy is AI controlled, isn't it? But that would be so cool. Oh. That would be a perfect sort of update to do on the anniversary of... Oh, I forgot the name of the game that Normandy's from. It's not Half-Life. It's the other one, but you know the one the Normandy's from. But they brought that out on their anniversary, that game developers yeah, that would be quite cool if they did do something else with the Normandy. For all those people that missed it the first time around as well, maybe a rerun of the expedition again. I think they've already done that once though, haven't they? 7, the Sea Lord 888. Personally, I feel what the game lacks at the moment is money sinks. Yes, we've got so much units, so much quicksilver, so many nanites, and there's not much to do with it. I have said in the past, I wish that they would remove the ability to duplicate resources in the refiners and all that sort of stuff, and give us a replicator. And then we use either nanites or currency to duplicate those items. So you put something in, put in a shed load of nanites, and it uses nanite technology to replicate the thing that you've put in the first slot, you know? So legit duping, essentially. And maybe you don't get the replicator until after you've got your Atlas past level 3. Maybe you find the blueprints of it in random stations behind an Atlas free door. That would kind of make some sense. Station ownership would be another good way to actually plough money into stuff, but also settlements. All of our settlements are in debt, but we didn't put our hands in our own pockets and just say, right, you know, I'm going to pay the debt off. And we're not even an option. Could be a good option. It'd be cool if we could actually purchase, some really nice customised buildings and stuff for actual settlements using in-game moolah and currencies, wouldn't it? Honestly think Hello Games is missing a trick. You make a very good point there, 7th Sea Lord. Heck yes. Ray Austin. Hello there, Ray Austin. All of that plus rocketry additions, capsule builds to fasten the trade rocket, parachute bounce mechanic, gravity thrusters. Oh my god, he wants to turn the trade rocket into some sort of Elon Musk type auto landing, launching bouncy bullet. Kind of like that idea. I like all these ideas. There's so much potential in No Man's Sky. Kells. I would love a huge, big living freighter. That would be amazing. Absolutely. Yes. You would need to be able to do up the interiors with organic as well, wouldn't you? It'd be nice to have some sort of meld of the two, you know. I just hope we get an update to behaviour of the variation of creatures. New creature types are nice, but I'd love to see more parts and colours for the current creatures, like squids and springworms. Yeah. Dumpster Fire, you've got a good point there. You have. It'd be nice to see some creatures that actually affect the environments, like we saw the rhinos smashing down the trees in the original trailer or whatever. I know we've got the big sandworms and the worms that leap or whatever, but I also like the look of the worms that actually carved their way through the landscape before as well, and threw up all those dust clouds, even if they do wipe you out. I would like to see more dangerous fauna, and I'd like missions to go and hunt those dangerous fauna. I mean, after all, we've got all these bones appearing. Maybe just add them onto the relic worlds or something. I don't know. But yeah, I'd like to see a lot more fauna customizations and a new fauna appearing. Dean, oh, I can't do your name, Dean. I'll just call you Dean. But there you go. Customization of ships and freighters, exteriors for sure. The ability to have NPCs in builds would be cool. Builds are so sterile. I know what you mean. It would be nice to be able to put down your own NPCs and pathing for them or something, just to give them that new sense of life. Yeah, I agree. You know, that'd be cool. I mean, it's like, you know, you got the wires that you can put down. It'd be nice if they were just pathing mods and you could just stick it on an NPC, draw the path where you want them to go, and then set a timer on how long it takes them to track that path. That'd be quite cool. Carfaxis Dragonheart, the ability to build class upgrade freighters, build your own sentinel ships, building living ships, much in the same way as we can modify companion eggs, and perhaps more importantly, the expedition specific tech abilities and recipes are brought to the main game. Singularity Engine, Leviathan craftable ship upgrades, the Cursed and the various elixirs, etc. I'm surprised that all that stuff inside of the Cursed didn't actually get put in anyway as actual legit canon stuff inside of the purple systems. Maybe they're holding that back for when we go into the realm of glass or into the void, and then we'll see that stuff from the Cursed come into game as canon. You know what? You know my little list up here where I said what's more likely? I'm going to say Cursed Systems of Space and adding in the stuff from the Cursed Expedition, because you've touched on such a point that I completely forgot about Carfaxis Dragonheart. Salutabondo. I completely forgot about the Cursed stuff. I honestly did. I mean, all the stuff from Emergence came in, didn't it? With the worm babes and all that. But we haven't had the Cursed Systems with the jellyfish and those elixirs. You're very right there. Yeah. Exploration all the way for me. I like the idea of abandoned systems rebirthing, blah de blah. And I replied back and said, yeah, well, what I'm thinking is this. And they came back and said, yeah, works for me. Heck yes, we're on the same page. Michael Beaver, I guess. I would enjoy it if living ships grew and evolved over time. I mean, they have got organs. Their actual modules are organ-based, and you pump a load of nanites into them currently to make them evolve. But I get you. Yeah, the more you use the ship and the more you use the organ, it makes sense if it grew. I mean, we have to birth them in. That was all time-gated, so I think you make a very valid point, and that would make them feel very much unique. And maybe they could evolve and grow different weapon modules based on your play style. I like that. That's an idea. That's a very good idea. JC the Saver says dungeons are a necessity. There needs to be some kind of procedural elements attached to some, if not all, points of interest. I was hoping that, you know, the Sentinel pillars, I was hoping that rather than it just be a pillar, that it would be like a Sentinel sort of bunker that you go in, you have to work your way through. A little bit like the ones on Abandon or the freighters in space with the cannons and the little mini drones. But then I thought, well, how often do I run those dungeons in space on those abandoned freighters? Very rarely. After I got everything from them, I felt no need to do them anymore. Would I feel the same if they did the same with dungeons on planet? It depends what the rewards are like. It depends how procedural they are. Is it worth it? And I think that's where Hello Games falls short of the measure pretty much every time. They don't add enough depth into the things that they implement. Okay, Daniel King. I just want to explore an entire planet, give us missions to collect new things all the time and rewards, blah, blah, blah. I kind of feel that they could do that quite easily. When you go to a Colossal Archive right now, it prints out a map and you just go to a treasure point and you get some treasure, and it's pretty worthless most of the time. Give or take. If you're early game, it's actually really good. If you're late game, it's pretty worthless. You just send out some freighter missions and probably make that money in half the time. Frigate missions. But if you look at your log inside a game, you've got like this whole thing about surveying and logging the planet. And the actual way that it's worded in namesake is very similar to that terminal at the actual archive. If they made it so the more that you catalogue inside of a system, then go to an archive, the better the reward you get from that treasure. It just needs to be some sort of integer, some sort of, I don't know, yeah, just to drive up the worth of that valued item that you get. So the more you survey, the better the map, the better the reward, the better the money that you're going to get. Even if you are late game, it might make you raise an eyebrow and say, how much? Well, that's 5 freaking frigate missions gone out there to. That's good. Make it worthwhile in cataloguing your systems. Melee weapon. Okay, that'd be quite cool inside of VR. I'm not going to lie. I used to love Ulysses 31, the cartoon, and he had a multi-tool that you could fire lasers out of. Press another button, you got a laser sword, and on the other side you got a laser shield. I think that'd be quite cool to have a laser shield and a laser sword. Heck yeah, that'd be cool. I like the idea of autophages getting their own everything in No Man's Sky, like I mentioned above there. Heck yes, why not? Yes. And to build Dyson spheres. Oh, nice. I like that idea. Dyson sphere around them. Yeah, they'd have to put suns in though first for that, wouldn't they really? At the moment it's just a load of pixels. Have you ever tried flying to the sun? If you haven't, Professor Cynical's done it a few times. He's got a couple of videos. Yeah, your ship disintegrates. I wouldn't recommend it. Cream cheese. More multiplayer engagement. I can 100% get on board with this. Definitely something needed. Heck yes. I think multiplayer needs a complete overhaul and restructure, especially if you're running in a team of 4. You've got yourself a fire team, essentially. I think it needs to be stacked differently. Definitely. Morgan. Hello there, Morgan. A mobile app linking your settlements, farming and inventories, maybe using the cross-save system. See, that's quite nice. It would be nice if Hello Games did make their own little mobile app that tied into No Man's Sky to do things on the fly, especially if your settlement has got like a disagreement. Maybe you could just settle that through the app and get notified rather than have to turn on your PlayStation or your PC to jump in every 2 hours to do it. I like that idea for settlements. It's a great idea, Morgan. Greg, hello there, Greg. I added my longing wish list of old vid comments, so I'll make it short this time. ARG Part 4, yep. Ariadne Path, yep. Living Freighters, Reputation System of Overhaul, negative, yes. Yes and yes. Farming Overhaul with Animal Pens, yeah, I think I've done a video on Animal Pens, yes, that'll be good. Building Mechanics Overhaul, Undo Button. Oh, God, that's a game changer right there. No more need to use glitch building, marking multiple parts to copy and paste, move, rotate, snap, delete. Yes. I mean, glitch building is quite difficult, unless you're on PC and you've got macros. If they did make that more accessible to everybody, yes, definitely yes. Programmist music. At this point, I prefer Hello Games to get better quality controls and bug fixing department. Ooh. Yeah, if you go to the credits inside of Hello Games' No Man's Sky, you can see that they actually have got some bug fixes there that are supposed to be checking. After the last Beacons update, I can't say that they're doing it in a very good way. Or if they are, I don't know how they're doing it, because there are so many basic issues with Beacons. Even now, I mean, we've had 2 patches, but we definitely need that 3rd one in, because it's hard playing, and it takes away from the immersion, it takes away from the fun, 100%. If they could nail a lot more bugs when they put out these updates, I think people would feel a lot more confident about playing the update at launch. I see so many people right now saying, Captain Steve, I don't play any new updates to No Man's Sky until they've at least done 3 or 4 rounds of patches. And I'm seeing that more and more. More and more. So yeah, Hello Games, take note. Yeah, lovely jubbly. In preparation for Light No Fire, I also feel that if they keep releasing stuff that isn't quality, people are going to wonder about the quality of Light No Fire. Less bugs, Hello Games, raises confidence. No Man's Sky 2. Haha. I think that could be on the cards one day. I kind of think that Hello Games are going to support No Man's Sky even through Light No Fire, but I wouldn't be surprised if Light No Fire gets like about what 5 years in, and then Hello Games suggests their next ambitious title is going to be a No Man's Sky reboot, but making every planet as detailed as what's inside of Light No Fire, but maybe not having 256 galaxies and maybe reducing the count down to 16 galaxies, the whole 1616 thing playing in a little bit more, and making each galaxy very different and focusing on quality of those planets like a Light No Fire planet, but making them all as awesome as a Light No Fire. Oh my god, that game could last you a lifetime if they did that, couldn't it? I mean, I thought No Man's Sky would be the game that lasts a lifetime, but after you've played No Man's Sky, I would say for 40 hours, done all the main story, all the planets that you've seen during those 40 hours are going to be variants of all planets that you're ever going to see, and it feels very sort of similar after that. I mean, shoot me down in flames, sound off in the comments, let me know. I know it's been getting better and better. Worlds Part 2, bringing in the purple systems, has added in a lot more variants, especially to the terrain, and I definitely welcome that. But even still, when you land on one of those purple planets and you've seen the terrain and you've walked around your ship by, say, 2,000 U's, whatever you saw in that 2,000 U's is what you're going to see every 2,000 U's across the whole planet, unless you dive into the ocean. But then the same applies there. You know, you're not going to find some idyllic valley with rivers and waterfalls. You know, it still doesn't happen. It's not going to be as varied as the Light No Fire biomes. And I think that could come in No Man's Sky 2, Smash 69. Heck yes, that's a crazy avatar you have there. Sky Masters! Hello there, Sky Masters. Sky Masters also has a channel, you can go check them out. The Sky Masters does some interesting stuff in No Man's Sky. He uses Blender. Now, somebody mentioned about having NPCs inside of your bases. Sky Masters has added NPCs inside of his bases. He's built living, organic, breathing cities. Check him out. Anyway, for them to finish anything at all, stop re-rolling the bug dice. Yeah, it's hard to know what's a bug and what's a feature at this point. Okay, I've got a marketplace at my settlement, yeah? And I don't have any vendors inside the marketplace. It should have 2. It should have a guild vendor and it should have a market vendor. If you just leave it at C class, as soon as it's built, you've usually got your vendors. It doesn't matter if it's night or day, you've got your vendors. As soon as you do anything else to it, upgrade it to like a B class or an A class or an S class, the vendors will disappear. Sometimes you might only have 1, sometimes you'd have none. And people have said, Captain Steve, it's the time of day. If you go there at night, of course they don't work at night. Although maybe they don't work in storms. It's a freaking bug. I've been there, day, night, storms, no storms, they're not there. It's a freaking bug. A lot of people, without testing stuff themselves, will tell me how it's been put in and it's actually a feature and it's working as designed, even though they don't work at No Man's Sky. I mean, Hello Games. I've been there multiple times of day. I'm not going to say it's a bug without doing my due diligence. Anyway, sorry, I got a little bit heated then. How about just fixing discoveries or multiplayer? I mean, the amount of times I've gone to a planet, found every single creature, named every single creature, gone away from the planet, waited a couple of weeks, gone back to the planet, gone to scan a creature because it's saying it's not scanned. All of them are showing question marks in my discoveries page. But as soon as I scan one creature, its name appears, and it's usually the name that I gave it, in all fairness. But it shouldn't do that. It should know that I've already been to this system. I've already named it, and sometimes it takes a while for it to all sink in and start acting like it should. And in some cases, I've gone back there, even though I know that I found every single creature before I shared the portal code. And yes, it's retained maybe 4 or 5 of my creatures that I named, but then the rest of them have been named by other people a month later. And I'm like, hold on, no. How has that happened? It is a little bit wonky. Things are a little bit broken. In fact, every element of the game has its little thing like that. And I'm saying it's a bug. But there's other people out there and saying, oh, no, that's a feature for X and Y reason or ABC reason. And they will argue it till the cows come home that, no, this is a feature. It's made like that. It would be nice if every single update came with a clear instruction manual. This is how it should work. This is what we expect. If it's not working like this, report it as a bug. It needs to be, I know we get all these lovely patch lists, but they should go into detail. This is how this new thing frickin' should work. And if they don't do it on the patch list, it should be inside the game manuals, and they need to update it and make it clear as frickin' crystal on how it should and shouldn't work. You know, just so if I get somebody say, no, they're not working because it's nighttime, I can say, actually, no, look, here it actually says vendors will work day and night, just like the vendors in stations and archives and every bloody other building inside of the game. Why is this peeing me off so much? Because we're supposed to be reporting bugs to the Zendesk. And we're supposed to be squashing these bugs. But if people are then in my comment section and arguing against it even being a bug, Hello Games might see it and think, well, we don't have to prioritise that one, because there's a lot of people out there that actually feel that these guys go and sleep in their beds in the settlement. Show me a bed inside of a settlement. Show me an NPC frickin' sleeping inside of the settlement. And okay, fine, they've gone to sleep. All right? Or go show me them dancing inside of the frickin' saloon or whatever, you know? They're not anywhere to be found. Anyway, I don't even know why people play this game without an SSD. 20-minute load time, 6 minutes to warp to a new system. I wouldn't recommend playing the game without an SSD either, to be fair. Grass grows faster than this game. Fair enough, Sky. I mean, they are putting in quite a lot of optimization. They are trying to crunch that down. But yeah, if you are on the older systems, it's not going to be as great as the larger systems, is it? I mean, it's kind of a given, to be fair, isn't it? Anyhow, let's make myself a little bit larger on screen. So, that's everything that I would like to see come into a No Man's Sky in 2025. And there's a lot of ideas there that you guys have brought to the table inside those comments. Thank you, everybody that left a comment and made this video more so than what it would have been without those comments. And thank you for chiming in. There were some great ideas there. There was even one that made me backpedal up to my own list, which is fantastic. Heck yes. So there we go, people. Sound off in the comments on this video if you like. Let us know if I missed anything. Let us know if you've just had some thoughts while listening to this video. Go, you could make it even better, Steve, with this or with that. Heck yeah, that'd be cool. Anyway, until next time, people. Salutamondo. Goodbye, goodbye. And goodbye again.